Guys, and welcome back to my channel. For probably the most ashamed and embarrassed I've ever felt ahead of or after a game and ahead of a live reaction and player ratings live stream, bro, we employ comedians, not footballers. What is that? What is that? What's Tuchel doing? What's this referee doing? What are these players doing? We are so bad. We're making the world think going to a football team's hotel and shooting a few fireworks at the night before the game actually works. Every team's going to do that against us now because it works. We were rattled before we stepped on the pitch. And then I have people telling me, oh, don't be so harsh on them, you know. Goodison Park is volatile. Fuck off. Embarrassing. From second 1 to the 98th minute. Embarrassing. Every second of it. Every second of it. Absolutely shameful. Just get the season in the bin. I don't even give a shit. Don't even go to the FA Cup final. Just give Liverpool the quadruple. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. We'll just be embarrassed anyway. We can't even beat fucking Everton. How are we going to beat Liverpool? We cannot beat Everton. Frank Lampard Everton. Nah. I am fuming. I am absolutely fuming. See, I don't even know. I mean, I just said I'm fuming. But I'm caught between like angry and just literally depressed. And I don't like to make jokes about that. And just laughing. Like when we conceded, I was like, brilliant. Exactly what I expected. And I mean, I didn't say it anywhere, not even in a group chat, but I was like, no chance we're winning this. Even if I check title error. Did I do something wrong with the title? Oh, oops. Thank you. In the title, it says Chelsea won 1-0. We sure didn't. My apologies. I will correct that straight away. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. I don't even know. Like, I knew we wasn't going to win. Maybe a draw I was still kind of hoping for. But does it fucking matter? Do I give a shit whether we lost 1-0 or drew 1-1? No. At least like that Everton or Lampard, shall I say, stay up, you know? Because 1 point would have been pointless for both of us. Fucking hell. Pice, why don't I start with you? Like, honestly, I don't even know what to say, where to start. Like, I'm so annoyed.
I don't know. It sounds weird to say, but I'm not really annoyed, to be honest. I'm not surprised. I've seen this too many times this season that I'm just bored of it now. The pick and choose mentality from these players are just, I don't know. I struggle to get annoyed. I'm past that, to be honest. I'm not shocked. We were either going to win today, or that game exactly. Like, I could picture how that game just went in my head last night. Pressed high, made it difficult, deep block. We didn't pass quick enough. No creativity. Crowd was insane. Chelsea make mistakes. I could picture that all in my head last night. There was one of two games I pictured. And unfortunately, the one I pictured in my head, one of them happened. And I'm just not shocked. I mean, the goal we conceded, yet again, another error. I think we're third or something in the Premier League now from errors leading to goals this season. Yeah, just not good enough. Too inconsistent. But I don't know. I'm just struggling to enjoy Chelsea at the moment because, like, you just don't know what you're going to get, and that's half the problem. That's the reason why our ceiling is third or fourth. That's the reason we're not up there with Man City and Liverpool and won't be up there until we make major changes within this squad. There's too much pick and choose mentality. When are we going to turn up? You know, do we feel like it today? Like, you can tell it's been the same all season, bro. Like, it's been stop.
I'm not even sure whether we don't know what we're gonna get. We know full well what we're gonna get. Like, other than Southampton and Real Madrid away, we've been awful for months.
Yeah, but I mean, months. Like, even you look at last game, bro.
If we win some games, doesn't mean we weren't awful in 90% of them.
I felt like the Man United game could have been like awful for us. Like, we hadn't won there in so long. I knew we drew, but that, like, the game, how it went, we were so much better than them. And I was like, actually, okay, they've actually turned up today. Yeah, we didn't win, but in this game, complete opposite. We just couldn't deal with their pressing. We couldn't deal with anything. The crowd, it was a disgrace.
Frank Lampard's Everton pressing. You know what happened when they tried to press Tottenham? They battered them 5-0.
Yeah, we weren't good enough on the ball, but they want every tackle, every second ball. They just, I said it earlier, they just out-passioned us. Literally, they wanted it more. They fought more, and they ended up getting a goal off one of our mistakes. So it is what it is. I don't really have too much more to say. I'm not surprised at the result.
No, I'm not surprised by the result either. I can't lie. Clutch, your end, my God. What are your feelings, I suppose?
I guess I was muted there. Okay. No, it's been like the same story for the last 4 months or so. I mean, inconsistent players, consistently making wrong decisions within management. It's not one thing. It's not players only. It's not manager only. It's literally the entirety. Now, it's not fully on Tuchel. It's not fully on the players, but something's got to change. Like, and I hate to blame Tuchel every single time because it's not always his fault. But these are the results, and I know Pius hates it, but these are the results that are going to get people to get on the Tuchel out train. This is it. Getting outcoached by Frank Lampard, of all people, the guy we sacked 15 months ago. It's just, it can't happen. We can't do that. Why Timo Werner keeps starting when we know we're going to go into a low block situation makes zero sense to me. And if it is to play for Liverpool, all you're doing is hurting him. Because he's not going to be good enough when it comes to Liverpool, because his confidence is going to be gone again. So what's the point? Havertz today, what were you doing? You wanted to play a boxing match rather than have a football match. If that's what you're going to do, have a pay-per-view. Ruben was the only one who looked like he was even trying. James, is he tired? Is James tired? What's up with him today? Aspie. It's so sad because when I thought Rudiger was staying, I was like, I'd be so welcome to actually saying, Aspie, thank you. Go to Barcelona, get your money. Have a great day. But now we have to keep Aspie. And his legs are gone. And I don't want to see a Chelsea legend go down like that. I don't want to see it. It's just, it's so much to digest that it's just building up. We need to get Bully in. We need to get the summer. And that's what we need. We just need to get the season over with, because this season is only going to get worse from here on out if we don't start making changes.
That's the only positive that's happening. At least if Bowley watches this, he knows we need to fucking sort our shit out. Do you know what I mean? That's the only positive. Imagine we keep winning now and he's like, everything's fine anyway. What do I need to do? Do you know what I mean? That's the only positive. Mo Flygerian, 17. Appreciate the donation. He says, obviously our strikers can't score, just crossing tactical football. And our players can't find any players and doesn't help the strikers. Dead football. Can't lie, you're not wrong. And it's the exact same thing we did on the Lampard. Just now we do it in a back three. Back then we did it in a back four. It's the same thing. We don't know how to break a team down. We pass it to the wingers or now wing backs. We hope for them to cross and nothing happens. So we do. Or we need Ruben or Cover and then that's why we're all like, Pulisic needs to play, because we're just sat there waiting for someone to make a run by themselves and fix everything by themselves. But it doesn't fix anything. That's just one guy having moments of magic. It doesn't fix problems. That papers over cracks. And we're just doing the same thing. I mean, Havertz, he could not handle Jerry Mina from the first minute. Now, I don't think he was having any more of a fight than Jerry Mina was. Jerry Mina is a dirty scumbag. Always has been, always will be. Watch every Euros, Euros, being Colombian, every World Cup, every Copa America. Just watch. He does the same thing every game. That's just how it goes. But Kai Havertz couldn't handle it. Why the fuck did you leave him on the pitch then, Tuchel? Could have literally taken him off after 5 minutes. You knew that nothing good was going to happen from there onwards. Nothing from Kai. And you left him on the pitch. Why? Just why? Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand. And then, like, did we change to a back four? Who knows? If we didn't. So you took Aspie off to make Reece James more defensive. Brilliant. You know who I'm most embarrassed by today and disappointed by today? Marcus Alonso. The guy couldn't even fucking turn up against Lampard. Not even against him. Where does your motivation come from? Like, what? How does your body or brain decide when you're going to be good and when you're going to be bad? Like, I would have willingly bet money on Alonso playing well today. And he was shit. I mean, the whole lot of them was. but he was extra shit. I can't, like, against Lampard, really. Not even against him. You can turn up. Not, like, nah. It's... Oh, yeah. No. Havertz outdid him in that sense, but Havertz was struggling the last few games already. So that's not a big shocker. But the fact that Alonso against Lampard couldn't even turn up, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And that Kai Havertz was bad, embarrassing, awful. We'll get a bad rating. We'll get to it. But who kept him on the pitch? And it was 2 minutes into the game where we knew he should have been subbed off. We knew it. Sure, I'm sure Tuchel did. And if he didn't, that's a problem in and of itself. My God. Like, when the lineup came out, no changes, other than N'Golo Kante, who's injured, apparently. No changes from the Manchester United game. To be fair, like Pi said a minute ago, we were pretty good against Man United, except the finishing. Only problem is the Manchester United Old Trafford pitch could not be any more different to Goodison. Like, it's what? Fucking 15 times the size, what feels like. Why would the same players work there? Especially if now half of them will be more tired on a smaller pitch against a team that's fighting for their life. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Like Pi said it yesterday, and I was like, you're not wrong. Joe Edwards, until 3 months ago, 4 months ago, whenever it was, maybe a bit longer, assistant manager is at Everton. And we play how we always play. So obviously it's not going to work because they know every single detail, what we do, and they just stopped it. We had no shots on target until Mason, well, that isn't even officially a shot on target. Mount hit the left post, then the right post, and then, Pickford made one of the best saves I've ever seen against Azpilicueta, and then 2 seconds later, Rudiger. And Pickford makes another great save against Rudiger. Those were the only 2 shots on target we had in the first. I don't even know when that happened. After an hour, we didn't have a single shot on target before that. The only shot that was any sort of acceptable was Mason Mount to put it just over relatively early in the first half. We did nothing. And like Pi said, we couldn't handle their press. They pressed us, and we couldn't do it. We just couldn't hack it. We couldn't pass it out. We couldn't punt it long. Shameful. Absolutely shameful. I mean, Pice, when the lineup came out, and it was the identical team to Man United, except Ruben coming in for Kante, who was injured. Did you think it was a good idea? Did you think it made sense? Like, I understand that we played pretty well last game. Totally understandable. But number one, it's a very different opposition. Number two, that game was just 3 days ago. Not even, because today was kickoff 2 p.m. And the last game was a Thursday game at 8 p.m. So it was like basically 2.5 days since the last game. We played all the identical players. No wonder that we're all a step late on everything. That's what happens when players are not fresh.
Wait, Roy, what did you just say again about what did I agree with? What player was it?
No, you didn't agree with anything. Just that Ruben instead of Kante was the only change from the United.
Oh, yeah. Are you like in the lineup in general or what? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've said this. I definitely do blame Tuchel for playing Werner. It made no sense to me in this game. I mean, if Pulisic played, he would have probably got battered and bruised and, stuff as well. They'd probably kick him twice as hard. But at least with Pulisic, can retain the ball and, actually, he's got a bit of ability. Like, Jesus Christ, Werner is just so bad. I never got fooled when he started having this little 2-3 game purple patch. The rest of the team, again, I've said for ages, Azpi is not good, but I can understand Tuchel playing him. But I don't know at this point, can you really? You rather just play Chalobah, like, I don't know. In hindsight, Azpi made the mistake, so you've got to say it's the wrong call, but it's not as simple as that sometimes.
No.
Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho, I mean, yeah, who else are you going to play in there? Saul? No. Like, really? That'd be stupid. He's hardly played. Barkley, I don't even think he was on the bench. I don't know. Like, what else are you going to do? The main thing for me is the formation. I said yesterday, I don't think we should play at 3 at the back. They allowed us no spaces. They clearly had a tactical plan. They had a whole week to work on this while we had, 2 or 3 days. And yeah, we was just shit. It's one of those. Yeah, Tuchel should have made subs earlier. Havertz, I don't know what he was doing today. He was awful. I mean, you can say pushing Moon is stupid as well, but that Mina, fucking hell, the way he like put his head towards him and that guy wound me up as well. But That's
Because
what
he
I
got in
mean.
his
Like,
head by that point. He got in his head.
yeah, like, that's what I mean though. Like, the thing is with like blaming Tuchel is you bring Lukaku on, he's probably fucking like Lukaku's probably not even going to move, or like everyone's like, oh, bully, yeah, go on, bring Lukaku on to bully. When has he ever bullied anyone in his Chelsea career? Like, he's fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But at
Like,
least he wouldn't get bullied. Like, he might not bully Mina because I don't think anyone does. But at least he might not get bullied. And,
And
that
then-
would already have been
and
an improvement.
And Lukaku's so shit for us because we only ever use him one way, which is as a target man. Like, it's just
Yeah, but Havertz, we didn't use him at all today. How many balls did Havertz get
it's
while
just
he was up front?
pointless. I just
The
don't.
only times Havertz touched the ball was when he was out on the wing anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just fucking. It's boring at this point. Like,
Yeah.
whoever you bring on, like, I'm so fed up of it. I hate all these players, man. They're so shit, all of them. I can get annoyed with Tuchel as well, but the problem with me, he's not the overriding factor. The problem, the overriding problem is this squad. Matisse just put a great tweet out. Look at our last, I think, 4 or 5 seasons since we won the leagues, our placements. Like, this squad has had it with their ceiling, bro. We need a major fucking farm sale. These guys have had it. It's been like this for years, bro. It doesn't matter the manager. You can't. I wish some people would see the longer picture, the bigger picture. That's all I'd say, and it's why I'm not actually so annoyed, because I'm used to it by now. I'm tired of the same shit every season. The same patterns every season happens no matter what manager we employ in the league. We're a great cup side because look, you said earlier, Lawrence, bro, we're gonna lose to Liverpool. We probably fucking beat Liverpool, and then it'll paper over the cracks again for the next season. That's the problem with this team, is they're just not good in the league. I'm just sick of it. It's boring, bro. It's boring.
I mean, I don't know. We couldn't win the FA Cup when Lampard was here either. And now we have a manager that got out-coached by Lampard. So, not really
But
having much
you
for
look
the
at
FA
us,
Cup
bro.
final,
Like,
probably.
what I mean with the pick and choose mentality of this squad. You look at us in that Carabao Cup final. Like, we played our asses off. We just, like, these players, they don't care for some games, bro. They just don't care. They don't care for the Evertons. They don't care for the Burnleys and stuff when we draw. They don't care for those games. They just care
But they
for the
do
big
care.
games.
Look at how they got in. Look at how they were rattled all game long. Havertz, Mount, they were trying to fight every Everton player. At every chance they got, they clearly cared. They just couldn't fucking do it.
Yeah, and then it comes down to ability, bro. Maybe I don't even know, maybe 2 or 3, but the rest of the team did not care. I'm telling you now, it's not good enough.
No,
You can tell by how slow they pass the ball. Like, there's no leadership. Azpi's supposed to be the fucking leader in this group. He's not doing shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, move on. There's so many problems.
And just before we get into slating our players some more, just because otherwise I'll probably forget it. The one thing that's crazy is how bad we were today, and we'll get to those ratings, like I say. And Kevin Friend, the referee, was still worse than us. In the Premier League, that might be one of the worst refereeing performances I've ever seen. And I'm saying that not in the sense of individual huge refereeing mistakes. Sometimes the referee will get a penalty wrong or a red card wrong. Those things happen. Those things are really bad mistakes as well. But today was just a consistent fuck up. Like, Rudiger fouls Coleman, clear foul. You could even debate the yellow card. Fair enough. Give him a yellow card. Then Coleman basically penetrates Rudiger's bumhole and nothing happens. Then Coleman gets booked later. Should have been sent off by then, clearly, right? Loftus-Cheek gets hacked down in the middle of midfield. No yellow card. Jorginho gets hacked down by Fabian Delph in the middle of midfield. No yellow card. The second Mount touches Jerry Mina, who's a full head, like a foot taller than him, is what it feels like. Goes to the ground, yellow card. Azpilicueta, obviously, I mean, what you're doing anyway, but being captain, getting involved, didn't use his hand once. Was always like this, pushing with chest first. So just to make sure he can't do any violent conduct, nothing crazy. Do you know what I mean? Still books him. But all the fouls are okay. Once he gave Everton a free kick, and a throw-in, when the closest Chelsea player to the ball was like 2 yards away. But for some reason, Chelsea players by that point even gave up on complaining. Like, Mina grabbed Havertz by the throat, and no one did anything. No one cared. They showed one replay, and no one gave shit. Like, no one. What? Nothing happened. Like, but, referee, obviously, if you boys want to say anything about that too. But, Clutch, in terms of lineup, like, Pice makes a point. We don't have any other midfielders, so Ruben Jorginho was the only thing we could do. At least we played Reece James. Would it have been any better had it been Azpilicueta at right wing back and Chalobah at right centre back? Probably not. Would Kennedy, Saul at left wing have been better than Alonso? Probably not. The only positions where we maybe would have been able to do different things is in attack. But with how we played in defence and midfield, would that have made a difference? If I'm honest, probably not at all. So I can be a bit confused why the exact same team played, but at the same time, I'm like, would it have made a difference? No, probably not.
I mean, you make a good point. Here's the problem, right? So Werner started a couple games in a row now, right? When he's getting goal contributions, I understand. You reward reward contributions, at least in attack. Werner has not offered that. His runs do not come of anything. But 2 games ago, when Pulisic got the game winner, we still haven't seen him start. So now you're going to say, hey, we're going to need you to keep coming in off the super sub role. We need you to have that confidence. Nobody's going to have that confidence. You have to reward good play. Now, would Pulisic have made a difference? Probably not. Let's be honest. I don't think his confidence is there now. Probably not. But is he the better player than Werner? For sure. You play your better player. Just do it. Especially if you know you're going into a low block. We know Werner doesn't work against that. That's why we don't want him here. Because 90% of the teams we play low blocks against us.
But they didn't even have a low block in the first half. They pressed us like stupid, but we could just never beat their press. If we just beat the press, we would have had acres of space to attack. But we couldn't beat that press. Like, Werner might have been, like, I'm not saying he would have been. But if we would beat the press, there is logic in why Werner is there. But if we don't beat the press, it's all pointless anyway.
Isn't Werner one of the players that are supposed to do that by dragging players away? And he didn't? Hey, it is what it is. The only thing I would have changed is Pulisic for Werner, but it didn't
even get it out of our own half properly, let alone into their half.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing I would have changed was Pulisic for Werner, but would have made much difference? Probably not.
No, like, I agree with you. I would have also made that change. As much as I said, I think Werner can make some sort of sense, but obviously, my thinking, we don't struggle with Everton's press, man. I saw Tottenham play against it, and they took the piss out of Everton's press. Well, didn't expect us to not be able to handle it. Can't lie, didn't expect it. I expected us to not be able to score that. I expect every game. But not being able to beat a press, that's shameful. Against Everton. Like, 20 seconds into the game, and I already knew we weren't going to win. Like, basically. Like, Ruben had a stupid foul at the edge of the box. Would it have made a difference when they didn't score it, right? And after that, he was probably our best player. But just that foul after 20 seconds, I'm like, all right, it's not happening. The fact that they got this close to our box in 20 seconds, who does that? Name me one team that gets this close to our box in 20 seconds, even if they have kickoff. No one. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But, oh my days. I can't really criticize Mendy. Nothing to say about him. Can't save the goal. Made 1 or 2 other decent saves, I suppose. Can't particularly fault his distribution. Not that I can think of, at least. So I don't know. I want to give him an NA, but I'm going to give him a 6 because I don't think he is to blame for anything. Pice, anything you remembered that Mendy did wrong?
No, not really. Just an average 6. Don't think he can save the goal. Yeah, no real errors on the ball. Yeah, 6.
Fair. Clutch, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 6. Not much more to be said about him.
Fair. It seems like Jorginho wasn't taken off for tactical reasons, but had to be taken off, which is brilliant. It means we have even more available midfielders. Fantastic. Yes, it is, Jester, and we're also quite happy about it because that means at least we don't have to talk and think about this crap for too long. Rudiger. How many times did he get mugged off today? That's the rate I'm going to give him. I feel like 4. I feel like I remember him getting mugged off 4 times. 2 of which was nutmegs. That was fantastic. Then he got completely mugged off by Richarlison in our own box. My days, awful. Absolutely. Oh, and then Richarlison's on the floor. We're chasing him out and he plays the ball out. I'm like, excuse me. Their fans turn up at our hotel shooting fireworks. The referee has been screwing us over all day. And their players keep fouling us and we're not getting the results, the decisions. And you put the ball out of play for someone having a cramp. You can do that at Real Madrid, not with us, man. Changing my mind. 3. Awful. Absolutely awful. But then he shot again. 15 yards over. Stop shooting. Fuck's sake. I'm not saying he was actually as bad as a 3. I'm just so annoyed that I'm giving him a 3 anyway. Clutch. What about you?
I was going to give him a 3 if you didn't. So, I mean, what a silly foul that was. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like, Rudiger is just one of those players. It's just like, now you're going to fail us too after this? Really? Now? Like, okay. Whatever, man. You know, enjoy Spain. It's going to be fun for you, I guess. Have fun. So, 3. Good luck.
I'm a bit confused, Jester. I was certainly not trolling you. I'm not sure who said that or why they would have said that, but I definitely certainly didn't. But anyway, Pice, Rudiger.
Shit. Absolutely shit. Head's gone. Yeah, stupid fouls. Fucking awful, really. Took his weekly 40-yard shot, which didn't go in, which was great. 3, 4. Don't really care. He was rubbish. Yeah, I thought this could happen, where his head would go. And games like this as well just goes to show, like, with the high intensity and everything, that, you know, when things get rattled, he clearly still hasn't got a calm head. He clearly still has that rash side in him. So yeah, just really disappointed as well, because he's one of, you know, the whole back 3 really, Rudiger, Silva, Azpi, like, they're all leaders, I should say. You know, with quotation marks, because everyone will have a debate about, you know, Azpi and Rudiger mainly, but yeah, just really disappointed. Like, just lack of composure, bro. Like, it just led to so many fouls and situations. Like, yeah, he just lost his head today. And we'll see for the rest of the season where, or if he's completely lost his head. But yeah, 3-4. I don't mind whatever you want to go with.
Fair. I mean, the whole Rudiger shooting thing to me is like, when we're drawing, when we're winning, go for it, man. Even drawing, unless it gets too late. But once we're losing, I don't, especially in a game where the opposition keeps time wasting. All that shot does, because the likelihood of it going in is very slim, is give them a goal kick to waste more time. That's why, like, when we're drawing or winning and drawing and there's still plenty of time to go, I don't mind these shots. I'm like, go on then. But when we're losing, and people might have realized this from these streams, I get annoyed every time at it. And if you would watch the games with me, I'm just, every time Rudiger gets the ball, I already see him lining up, I just shout, don't shoot, and he shoots every time. Pisses me off. But okay, we'll leave that 3. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I'm gonna struggle to be positive today. If that's what you're here for today, it's not coming from my end. Thiago Silva, don't think it was bad. Also mugged off on a couple of occasions, I can't lie. His passing wasn't great whenever he attempted long balls. I'm not sure between 5 or 6, something like that. If I'm honest, I'd probably say 6, but I want to say 5. But I think I should say 6, if that makes sense. Price, do you think I should say 6, or do you think lower than 6 is okay?
I was going to say 6. Yeah, I don't think he done anything horribly wrong. In the first half, he made an amazing block, which I think was probably going in or off the post or something. Just like looked like one of those shots. I think it was Decore ran onto it, smacked it, and he like kind of charged out, blocked it with his chest. Yeah, I mean, Silva's always, you know, in a game like this, he's always going to be the best of the back 3. You know, some will say he gets protected more in the middle, but even a couple of occasions where he had to go out wide, you know, he didn't lunge in the challenge. He's just composed. So, you know, he's a proper defender. But yeah, 6. I can't really say too much. Like, just average. In a poor display from the whole team, really.
It is. I'm still still not sure what I want to give him a 5, but I'll leave it at that for now. Clutch, what about you? Would you go lower than the 6, or would you go along with it too?
I'd go lower. I think our best player was a 6 today, so I'm gonna go 5. I'm gonna go 5 because I want to lower it. I don't actually think.
No, you
he
know
was,
what? I'll
like,
agree with
that
you.
bad,
We'll sit on
but
the 5.5 overall.
yeah. That's all
Go
I
on,
have
no.
to say.
Don't interrupt you. Go on.
No, you're good. Just the only redeeming thing he did was the block just before half. Other than that, he almost cost us a goal at the very end too. So
Did. But I will say this. That's not a bad pass. Aspie had time and time and time and time. He just took way too long to play the ball. Simple. Do you know what I mean? Like, simple in my head. Aspie, as a captain, poor, because everyone lost their heads. He did nothing about it. The Mount was trying to calm Havertz down. Didn't see captain anywhere near it. Cost us the goal. Had one cross where he just put it out of play. To be fair, straight after his goal, he was the one closest to him and Mount. And Rudiger, I guess. You know what? Maybe I would actually want to. Yeah. It's Rudiger and Aspie were the two closest to scoring, which says enough, really, along Mount. But still, there's enough, really. Our two wide centre backs, two players closest to scoring. Because it was a wonder save from Pickford, so I'm going to give Aspie a 1, not a 0. And I'm going to give him a 2. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to give him a 2. Clutch, are you going to go lower than 2?
yeah, I'm gonna give him a 1. That was absolutely shambolic. Hey, you have the experience to know better. You're a Chelsea legend, and as much as I want you to retire here, the problem is you're gonna have to stay another year because Rudiger and Christensen are leaving. But your legs are going, and I'm seeing it every game. He was great against United, not gonna lie about it. But against Everton, how do you let Everton be the one that does you in? The relegation side, he's going to be a 1 for me.
Okay, yeah, could certainly do that. Hi, Price. 1, 2, 0, 3. Whereabouts are you going to go with that?
Trying to think how I would give him a rating. Actually, did he do anything to deserve a 1? Like, he was genuinely awful. I can't even. I don't even know if I can give him a 1 for trying to think. I think the most I noticed Aspie, apart from that goal that he gave away, was when he started beefing Seamus Coleman. That was it. Do you get a 1 petty point for that? I don't even know. I almost want to go 0. It's awful.
No, the point is because he got closer to scoring for me, but
I actually think that was a terrible shot, by the way, but I know people would disagree with that. Yeah,
he certainly could have finished it better, for sure.
1 then. I don't know. I just wish that fell to Reece James because it's a goal, but whatever.
Nah, well, with how Reece played today, I'm not sure. But yeah, you know what? I'll change my mind. Give him a 1 as well. Who cares? Alonso, not as bad as Aspie, but just because he didn't make a mistake, but you know, not far off. Well, yeah, 2. I'm going to say 2. Price. I can't even say anything about Alonso other than that he was bad. Like, he was slow. He kept losing the ball. He was always too slow to cross when he ever had half an opportunity to cross. Whenever he did cross, it was a bad cross. He had one shot which just got blocked, which might have gone on target, but, you know, that's not enough. Maybe I should even go lower for him too. I don't know.
So bad. Honestly, there was a couple of occasions where he was inside the box. This guy is so fucking slow on the ball. Oh, it's so frustrating. Please, I hope the rumours of Barcelona are true. Fuck off with Aspie as well, please. So old, so slow. Just get gone, man. Like, oh, it's so painful playing with him. I know he's a cult hero for goals he scored, but he's just so bad on the ball, so slow. Like, it's painful watching him today. Yeah, no, I'm giving him a 1 as well. Him and Aspie can have the same. They're both as shit as each other. So bad. As you said, no attacking threat at all. Just nothing. Couldn't even get himself motivated for the guy that put him on the team bus and throws him out the squad. Like, if you don't have the game of your life playing against that guy that did that to you, whether it was right or wrong on a personal level, you've got no hope. Honestly, disgusting performance.
Agreed. Clutch, what are you? 1, 2, 0? What are you thinking?
A 2. I think him and Aspie were as bad as each other, but Aspie literally had the fault for the goal, so we'll take 1 down for Aspie.
Fair. Reece James then. I'll hold mine to last on this one. Clutch. What do you make of him? I mean, he was moving around, trying to be in midfield sometimes, being on the side sometimes. I swear, I didn't see him beat the first man on a cross once.
He didn't beat a man on the cross at all. He, at the end, just started lobbing it into the legs of the players, hoping that one would go through. Unfortunately, I would probably go with the 4 for James. He didn't do it. He was not anywhere near what he was against United, not even close. He didn't influence the game like he wanted to. And I don't even know who was on his side. Who was he having to deal with? Damari Gray, I think? I don't even know. I don't remember who he was at. Gordon was on the right today. So Gordon was going – yeah, he was. For 100%, he was on the right. Because he was the one who ran past Rudiger like 4 times. I'm pretty sure it was Damari Gray on that side.
I mean, Damari Gray was on the left too, but I swear Gordon was also on the left.
Yeah, they switched, but Gordon was mostly on the right. He went to the left later on in the game because he ran down that side against Silva and won the corner.
Yeah.
But mostly it was Gray on the left.
I swear Gordon had the run on the left in the first half as well. Maybe I'm imagining it. Who cares? Fair enough. 4 from your end, Pice. What about you? 4 is about where you go. Would you go a bit higher? Would you maybe go lower? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably around there. I mean, James looked just really clumsy today. Just almost looked tired, to be honest with you. After last game, he played so well, and then this game he was just bad, to be honest with you.
He didn't look bothered to me. I can't lie.
I don't know whether it was that or whether he was just tired, but yeah, it definitely gives off that impression when you're watching it for sure. No attacking threat really either. Not really any dangerous crosses, which is actually, a real surprise for Reece. Yeah, I can stick with a 4 if you want.
Fair dues. Where is that? I do quickly want to highlight that. I would even go 3 if I'm honest. And welcome Dexter. If anybody else fancies becoming a member, there's a link down in the description below or a join button underneath if you're on desktop. Also subscribe, please. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. I would love to get that by the end of the season. And please just cheer me up. So if you're new here, please subscribe, smash the like button because that really helps me out with the algorithm. So just one click of a button down below. Let's get to at least 100 likes. At least 150 ideally. I'm honestly, I want to give James a 3, if I'm honest. Like Rudiger, I don't see how he was any better than Rudiger. The only thing I saw from him maybe was I liked how he tried to move about and try to do things in terms of going into positions where he's probably not supposed to be, but trying to make things happen. So I appreciate and respect that. So maybe I take back what I said a minute ago in terms of he didn't care because he did that at least. But I'm not really sure he was better than Rudiger. I mean, Rudiger nearly scored if it wasn't for John Pickford's nose. So I'm going to go 3 if I'm honest, man. I really don't think so. I mean, Jorginho, I don't really know what I thought of Jorginho in the first half. Obviously, apparently had to come off at halftime. I mean, clearly we were too slow and we couldn't beat the press, which was partly him. I don't know. Yeah, so in the same realm, like 3 or 4, one of those. Like that's what I'm thinking. I'd say 3.5 for now, but I might change that. Right. What about you? Well, obviously, it's only a half, but what do you make of him?
I actually thought he did all right, to be honest with you. No, I thought he moved the ball about all right. I was going to give him a 6, to be honest with you. I just thought he was all right, not above average, but I thought he was average. I thought he moved the ball nicely. I don't know. Everyone always says like when he comes off and we concede, oh look, Jorginho come off, we concede. I don't think it's as
Yeah,
simple as saying that.
it's
But
not Jorginho. Like it has nothing to do with Jorginho being on the pitch or not. That
yeah,
asking
like,
took too long to get the ball away.
and I don't think we lacked control without him, to be honest with you. But
If anything, we had less control in the first half because Everton pressed our second
uh,
half after they scored. They didn't press anymore. So if anything, we had way more control second half, which had nothing to do with Jorginho. But I don't think you can say we lost control because they parked the bus after we had all the control.
yeah, I'm going to go over 6, to be honest. I can't find many major faults in his half, but not great either, to be honest with you. He didn't really progress the ball fast enough. That's something I've been saying about him for months, but yeah, just too much sideways and backwards all the time. Not enough forward balls. But again, very very hard. I say this all the time. No one in that
What do you
front line
think?
made any runs. It was always out
Yeah.
wide. Every time they tried to play it into Havertz, he lost the ball. So
Can
what do
I ask you though? Obviously, if you say no, fair enough. But just as a question, if I'm sure you agree that we couldn't beat that press in the first half, isn't Jorginho kind of the guy whose main job it is to make sure we beat the press?
of course, but it's also about
That's why I'm
the
like I
movement
can't go
next
as
to
high
him.
as a 6 because I agree with
Well,
your
I
what you
thought he
said,
played.
but I'm like,
I don't know. I thought him and Ruben were working alright, to be honest with you. Like I didn't. The funny thing is, like, I didn't see anyone moan about it in the first half, and then when Jorginho came off, like everyone was moaning about it. So for me, that kind of seems to stem towards that Jorginho actually was kind of a factor of why we was okay in the first half. We weren't good, but we
were
was
we? We
okay.
didn't have a single shot. Obviously, that's not his fault, but you can't say we were good.
No, in the midfield we was okay. It was just like we didn't lose the like Ruben had a few good runs. We didn't lose the ball. We didn't get turned over. Like it wasn't awful. It was just it was okay, which is why I'm giving him a 6. Like I expect more, and that's why I would give him higher if he did better. But I don't know, maybe a 5. I don't know, 5, 6. Like I just wouldn't go any lower than that. Like
Okay,
yeah,
I
I don't
think
know.
I pushed mine up to a 4. So are you gonna go 5, 6, 5.5 if you want to? Of
I'll
course.
go. I'll go over. I'll go over 5. Go on then, because I do agree that the ball progression, like yeah, he's
I just
definitely
think, like, I
moved
agree
that
with you that
road.
we didn't really lose it in midfield much, but I feel like at times Ruben, but also Jorginho, who's obviously main job of this because he's deeper than Ruben, especially. Yeah, they didn't lose the ball, but they just gave it back to the
He's
defenders in
also
like.
obviously he's also
Okay.
extremely limited because one thing we do know, it's not his fault, but he just is a fact that he's limited in the fact that you bring Kovacic on the second half. Look, you've now got 2 midfielders that can run forward. Jorginho can't run, so it's also as simple as that. That really hurts his game and limits him as to what he can do in this team.
Okay, fair. Clutch. Excuse me. A 5 and a 4 so far. Then, what would you give Georgie?
It's hard because if you look at the stats where he won 7 out of 11 ground duels, his stats aren't bad. But that first half, like you said, his job is the one to break the press, and we couldn't do it. I'm going to cop out my answer and say 4.5.
Fair. I won't let you cop out on this one. So, because you're going first, Ruben, what do you make of him? Obviously, midfield today, not right wing back.
Laurenz, thank you for sticking with him because he was our only acceptable player today. Thank you so much. And you know what? Even though I think he was probably a 6.5, I'm going to give him a 7. That's what I'm going to do, even though I don't think anybody deserves nearly that high. But that's what I'm going to do because, one, you love Ruben, and he was the only one who was bothered today to actually try.
Yeah. I mean, it was the only one that made me somewhat happy at moments tonight, that's for sure. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I want to always give him a high rating just because I want to. But yeah, it's probably I probably want to say 6 or 6.5. But hey, if you already did, I'm going to agree with the 7. But Pice, to be fair, you wanted to give Georgie a 6, and you said Ruben was quite good at times. So would you even also give Ruben a 7?
Yeah, I was gonna go over 7 to be honest. He was good. Although there was a few, I thought he was a bit lax defensively. I can't lie. Obviously, in the first minute, there was another moment where he was really weak on a challenge. Everton created a chance for it. But going forward, he was our best player by far. Like he definitely looked more like the old Ruben. He took some authority. You know, he looked confident in his runs. And yeah, I still say, I mean, we'll come to fucking Timo Werner, but when he played Werner in, like any intelligent footballer can see that there's no more space to go down the line or cut it back, cuts back and shoots. But what did Werner do? Oh, let's just keep running down the line and try and fucking do one of your stupid low
And run
balls
too
into the
slowly
box.
as well. Like at least if you ran quick enough to
Oh,
get the
it's
cross in.
so annoying. It's so fucking frustrating. Which again, like Pulisic isn't doing that. Pulisic has the IQ to cut in and do something there. It's just simple things like that piss me off about Werner. So yeah, but on Ruben, I would say 7. He was our best player out there today. There's no question about that. Absolutely no question.
For the chat getting mad at the 7, the
Well,
reason
I
I
find it
even
hilarious because
stated
a minute ago everyone said we were too harsh on Georgie.
the reason why I even said 7 in the first place is out of a bunch of bozos, he was the only one out of them that wanted it.
Yeah,
Only one. And you need to give credit for that.
I'm sorry. In the chat, yes, we lost to 18th place, but Ruben really wasn't the reason for that. He was our only positive player going forward. He was the only player in the game that looks like doing something. So we have to give him a higher rating than everyone else. It's as simple as that. We're doing
What's your
individual
chat want to give
ratings.
Tuchel like a 7 because it's not his fault.
We was
But
giving.
out of curiosity, I'll be intrigued what you guys think. So
What do you mean? How does this guy? This guy says passion does not equal 7. Bro, he was making good runs forward and played good passes. That's not passion. What are you on about? I don't get these people.
I don't understand either. I don't know why. I don't know how it happened that Ruben all of a sudden
Oh,
became a
fuck
player
off, Pedro, in the
that
chat.
people
This guy's
hate
so
on.
dick, man.
Sorry,
So there's some guys in the chat, some absolute dickhead.
who is it? What did he say?
Pedro, he's saying stop crying. Get the fuck out of the stream, you idiot. Fucking hell.
Exactly. You stop crying, Pedro. You're the one crying about the 7. But anyway, because I'm intrigued what the chat actually thinks, because I've realized there's a few times in the last few weeks when we started doing these polls that there is a lot of people in the chat, obviously, that talk. But that's not all 250 of you. Obviously, not all 250 of you are going to vote in the poll. But I'd be very intrigued what people will vote for in the stream. I mean, obviously, I didn't give you the possibility of saying like 6.5 or 5.5, but I gave you the ratings between 4, 5, 6, and 7 out of 10, obviously. And so far, albeit it only being 67 votes, we have 48% 7. So all you loud minority.
He made 3 good runs,
Can
you
I-
bozo. What? 3 more runs than anyone else in the fucking team? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? We're doing individual ratings. Like, fucking hell. Oh my days.
Don't let yourself get riled up, bro.
Okay, so here's the stats for the people wanting the stats of Ruben. 100 touches, 93% pass accuracy, 1 key pass, 4 long balls, 1 out of 4. So 1 out of 4 long balls. Dribble attempts, 3 out of 3. Ground duels 1, 10 out of 14. Aerial duels 1, 3 out of 3. 1 foul, was fouled 3 times, 2 clearances, 1 interception, 4 tackles. So
when you say that, I want to give him an 8.
Was the only positive. Everybody else shut up.
Yeah. Go on, Clutch. Mason Mount. Now, what a volley that would have been, unfortunately. I mean, even then, we go 1-1. Do we still win? No. So, does it matter? No. But, great volley. Unfortunately, it hits the inside of the one post and the inside of, or kind of the inside of the other post. And then, obviously, unfortunately, Aspie couldn't score in the follow-up. Out of the attackers, he was certainly the best. But he wasn't very good either. I'm debating... Because I think, I mean, including Ruben to some extent at times, because what you said, 3 out of 3 dribbles, that's great. But I think he could have attempted 6, 7. I think he should have tried it more because it was working. Why weren't you trying it? Because it's the only thing that beat them. So that's the part I would criticize. But basically, even including Ruben, those 7, in my opinion, are the main reason why we lost. Sure, these 3 were, especially these 2 were really bad, but I still think these 7 were the main reason why we lost. I'm gonna I want to give Mount a 5.5. I think him and Thiago Silva, I think I'm okay if they have the same rating. Yeah. Because there was good moments, but there was moments where I'm like, you should be doing more. I also got me annoyed how he got himself booked. I mean, like I said that to you guys in the group chat. Like, I like the arrogance when he's like, well, F off, like, get off me type thing. But don't let them get into your head. Don't let them toy with you. Don't obviously he's a number 10, so like the yellow card for him isn't as big of a problem as say it is when Rudiger got himself such a stupid yellow card early on. But those things that just annoy me. Like, I like your arrogance on it, but don't let yourself get booked. Maybe it's experience. Over the years, he will learn how to do those things without getting booked. But I didn't like that part. But anyway, I'll say 5.5. Pice, what about you? 5.5, 6, 5, lower? What do you think?
I don't know. I thought he was decent in the first half. To be honest, he was the only player that actually looked all right on the ball. He had a couple of nice dribbles, but again, like, just kind of ineffective, to be honest. Mount that does have games like this. Lampard said that he had a plan to stop Mount and stop playing the ball to Mount, which I guess in hindsight seemingly worked because he's usually one of our most impactful players in the front three, and he didn't really have a great impact. So yeah, I can't really disagree with the rating. Obviously he had that shot which was really unlucky, but I don't know. I just expect more. I expect more. I expect more than one moment, especially against 18th place in the league. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult playing a deep block. I know it's difficult playing at Goodison, but you've got to take more responsibility now. He's one of, he's still young, but he's been here a few seasons now, starting regularly. So definitely does need to take more responsibility on his shoulders, and I think overall, he does do that. Just in certain games, he can find it really, really hard to make an impact. And I think this game was one of those games. But on another day that goes in that shot and it's 1-1. It's completely different. But based on the overall 90 minutes, actually, you know what? I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6. I don't think he deserves a 5.5. I'm going to give him a 6.
Okay, I'll ask you a question actually. If Aspi doesn't make the mistake and they get that goal, how do you think the game ends? Obviously, we will never know. I'm just asking your opinion.
If Aspi doesn't make the mistake and what? Mount gets the goal?
No, just if Aspi doesn't make the mistake and it remains 0-0 at that point instead of us going 1-0 down.
I think it would have remained 0-0. Yeah, I think it would have remained 0-0. Because Everton really didn't show any threat. I'm sorry. They were not.
Yeah. Because
they
that's the
didn't.
annoying thing. Because I
if you
think
think
they
about
would
it,
have
like,
opened up so much at the end because they needed to win. But I
even
think
the
we might
Gordon
have won
shot.
it at the end without that mistake.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. We do have a habit of late goals and papering over the cracks, but I don't know. Everton like even that shot from Gordon at the end, like Bendy just palmed it out for a corner. Like the thing is, Everton, because of their crowd, every shot they had, they made
Gray
it
shot,
seem.
that was inches over.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think maybe I think 0-0, but either side could have nicked it 1-0. I just think it's just so annoying that yet again a loss comes from a mistake. It's just it's so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. Like it's never individual brilliance from another team. It's always a fucking mistake from us.
Yeah.
Something that we can
And
avoid.
then when they
is just
actually
so
create
annoying.
things themselves, like the huge chance the Ukrainian left back had, I forget his name, 2 minutes after they made it 1-0, they missed that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like opponents only score when we give them the chance. They don't score when they create things themselves.
Exactly, and that's the most annoying thing about this team. It's like it's so avoidable. And last season, you look at us, we kept clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet. It was just totally different. But again, I guess that's what you have when you have half the back line heads already in the fucking summer. So yeah, great.
I don't disagree. It's also just like last week we concede 2 minutes after we score. Today we concede a couple of minutes after halftime. Like, what is our mentality? Honestly, shocking. Clutch. First Mount's rating, and then I'll ask you the same question too. What do you think happens if Aspi doesn't make the mistake and it remains 0-0 at that point?
Mount is a tough one. I'm gonna go 5.5. He did have that really nice pop up over. I don't remember who it was, but it was a nice dribble in the beginning. He had a good shot in the first half. He obviously hit the post twice, but I think he got bullied a little bit, so I'm gonna go 5.5. Yeah. And as for if Ashby doesn't make that mistake, I think we go on to be 0-0. Because I don't see us making the changes as early as we do at that point. I think we stick to what we're trying to do, and we don't break down a low block, or we don't break it down. Maybe in the last 5 minutes, maybe, but I don't like those are the types of things. It's like, why don't we just go for it earlier? But I think it would have ended 0-0.
Fair, yeah. The reason why I'm going 5.5 and not 6, like Pice did, is just I think his first half should warrant a 6. But I think in the second half, I just didn't notice him anywhere near as much. Hence why my second half rating for him would be a 5. Hence why 5.5. That's my logic. But in terms of things I remember, not bad. But I feel like other than his shot that hit the post, obviously both posts, I don't really remember much at all in the second half, other than him, to be fair, being the guy that stopped Everton scoring a 2-0 in the 97th minute with him defending in the box, to be fair to him. But yeah. Timo Werner, Pice, you felt like you had a lot to say. So what do you have to say?
0. Shittest player on the pitch. Not even going to give him a rating. He was awful. What? Like, talk about the phrase of playing with 10 men. What the fuck did he do? He was shit. He's awful. He has 0 technical. No, you know what? 0. I'm not even going to go into it. I've done this 1,000 times on streams. Everyone knows how shit Werner is. If you're a fan of Werner, honestly, I can't. Honestly, he's so bad. How is he a footballer? He can only play against 2 or 3 3 sides in this league. Like, what's the point of having him out on the pitch today? What did he do? Genuinely, all I remembered was him passing it back on the touchline when someone actually played the ball to him. This guy is not an attacker. What is he? Like, oh my god, why even pick him? That's honestly the main reason why I'm annoyed with Tuchel today. It's Werner. Why pick him? I cannot see him against Leeds, please. For crying out loud. I know they play a high line, but still, he's just... I'm so done with this guy. Even in those games where he got goal contributions, I wasn't fooled by that. I still thought he was crap. He needs to go. He doesn't suit this system. He doesn't suit this league. He is crap. He's just not built for this at all. Like, why play him? Please, Tuchel, stop playing him. He's so bad. Honestly, I just can't deal with him. I can't deal with this guy.
Bro. But like today, for me, it's not even like him. It's like all of them. I can't deal with any of them today. By the way, especially those vocal people in the chat, we have now 150 people who have voted on Ruben's rating. 7 is still winning with 42%, followed by, in second, 6 with 30%, and then 5, 15, and 4 with 12. So go back into your little holes and cry there.
Also, sorry, one more thing. Can anyone tell me an explanation why Werner, for the majority of the last 2 games, is playing striker and Havertz is out on the wing? Can someone explain that to me? Like, even in the second half, right, when he went back out to the left-hand side, we had like crossing opportunities. No one was in the box, neither Havertz or Werner. Werner on one occasion was right at the back post on the left-hand side, and Havertz was out near Reece James. Havertz and Werner should be in the fucking box. Like,
see, that reason right there is why Pulisic and Havertz are a much better combo. Because if Havertz vacates that space, Pulisic goes in there. That's what he does. He makes runs into the box.
Like even after
Werner just wants to run in behind. Nothing else. Nothing more.
But does he though? Because even today, he didn't even try to run. He didn't come.
He was trying to run.
Oh, I'm glad he didn't see it.
It was just. There was no space for him to go into it.
Because how often did we even get the ball anywhere near Werner? Like, I will say that. How often did we get the ball anywhere near Werner or Havertz? I swear 95% of our possession was with Ruben and Jorginho and further back. Like, when did we even put the ball in? Like, I'm not going to excuse Werner. Like, I also think it was bad. But we didn't even have the ball anywhere near them anyway. That's what I think. Even if Pulisic started to make no difference today.
I think it does so because he comes for the ball. Like, you know what I mean? I think we would have had more, like, at least, I don't know. I just feel like you always get more threat with Pulisic. Like, even when he came on, like he got the ball and he made that dart and run with it in the box. And I can't remember what came. Was it when Cover had the shot or something? Like, he just instantly looks more threatening. I'd honestly rather play my Nan over Timo Werner. Honestly, it's just He's awful. He's so bad. I can't deal with watching him.
Yeah. I mean, Clutch, are you going to go for the 0 as well?
I was going to go for a ghost emoji because that's all I got.
Jesus Christ.
As for Pyrex, Timo messed up the one time Ruben did get the ball to him. So, not really true there, bub. But, you know, I can't echo anything more than what Pius just said. Like, we as a fan base, for whatever reason, you'll have a player who's good for a game or 2 games, and then we just suddenly forget about who they are. Timo Werner is nothing different than what we've ever seen from him. He's not good enough for the Premier League. He might be good for a league that has space and to run behind. Fair enough. Your German leagues, maybe even your Italian leagues. But here in the Premier League, where 90% of the teams are going to face a low block against us, what is he going to do? He's going to dribble into somebody. He's going to make bad decisions. His football IQ is not there.
God, at least West Ham equalised against Arsenal in my days. Go on.
But I can't believe we are celebrating that. I hate Arsenal. But yeah, it's just...
Come on, Declan.
Imagine. But Werner, it's just... I don't see why we continue to start him. I understand like the things that he can bring. And against Liverpool, I would not even complain if we started him because they do play a high line, and that's what Werner's good against. One of the few teams we'd actually be good against. But we keep doing it against United, against Everton, against who else did we have a problem with recently? Arsenal. It's the same story with this guy, and I'm tired of watching it. I'm tired of it. Part of me didn't even want to watch because I saw him. My eyes bleed every time I see him play football. So I'm just gonna say 0.
And that's like I was going to give Timo, Kai, and Aspi. I mean, I initially wanted to give Aspi a 2 anyway, but I wanted to give them all 3 a 1 because on a day like today where we're all so bad and where I think the manager also screwed up, I don't want to individually blame anyone. And that's why I didn't want to give 1 a 0 and all the others 1s or whatever. But this comment by Adam, I could not agree with him. Why is Timo getting this run of games? Like Callum had it. There was a period early in the season when he had that. I mean, Ziyech, to be fair, every time he would have had it, he got injured. But even like that, I'm sure there would have been times where he wouldn't have, but still he doesn't. Or Pulisic doesn't get it. I'm not saying either of those two have been great either. But it's not like Timo has, so I don't understand why he keeps his spot. Yeah, I'm gonna say 1, but you were so adamant on your 0s. I will let you have your 0. Kai Havertz, like I say, I was gonna give them all a 1. But just awful. Like I say, awful from him, shocking. But the fact that he stayed on the pitch, the fact that he started, if I'm honest, like Tuchel was telling us how tired he was before Arsenal, right? Then rest him against Arsenal because he plays the last half an hour anyway. And has played all full 90 minutes since then again, I swear. Or did Lukaku come on? No, Lukaku came on for him. But still, like started at least all the other games since then again. I just don't get it. Like you can't say he's too tired and then you play against Yerry fucking Mina, one of the biggest, strongest centre-backs you'll find. And then leave him on the pitch. Like, even if he had a good game, I think after 70 minutes maximum, you should have taken him out to put a fresher person against Mina. Just to exploit him more. Because, like, how? I just, honestly, baffling. But, you know, he couldn't have done much worse. I mean, on the ball, he was poor. Some of the fouls he committed where I'm like, what are you doing? They just got into his head. But obviously, sometimes, you know, he got fouled and the referee somehow gave Everton a free kick, which I don't understand. Because he was just like, to me, he was mostly defending himself. And obviously, he has to be a bit more like over the legal line than Mina because he's a lot physically smaller, right? So, that's just how it goes. But, yeah, poor. So poor. The problem is that Lukaku is also always poor. But even like today, like I said, after the 5th minute, the latest, you knew Havertz was going to get a sniff today. And he didn't. He had one header, which was a really bad header. Not sure, like I didn't even see a proper replay of it, I swear. So I'm not sure, did he not hit it properly or what, like, I don't really understand how he got so little power and direction on it, if I'm honest. But yeah, it just really, really, really wasn't good. Clutch. 0 for you as well, or are you going to give him the 1-2 or the 1-2? You know what I mean?
I am going to give him the 0. Havertz, why he stayed on makes 0 sense to me. Like, we talk about needing to use Lukaku better. The one time we needed to put Lukaku in for a game that suited him, we left the guy who was one of the worst in the front three, if not the worst. Like, I think Werner was bad, don't get me wrong, but I've seen Havertz a lot more. And every time I did see him, it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to, by that logic, give him a 0 too. Havertz, like, I love the guy, and I think and this is why we also say don't play Werner with Havertz, because Havertz becomes much, much worse. I give him a 0, and I'm going to move on. I'm getting angry all over again.
There you go. Pice, have your say on Havertz before I read out when we get to just the super chat.
0. It's got to be awful. I couldn't make the ball stick. It has to be a 0. He was terrible. I'm sorry. I don't know whether I liked his attitude with Mina because, usually I like to see that in players, but I just don't. I don't know. He was awful. He really, really was. There's not much more to say, to be honest with you. I don't think it's entirely his fault, but if we're going off individual performances, was he any better than Werner? No, he really wasn't. I saw him fighting more than play football today. So, look, it has to be a 0. It doesn't mean that I don't not like him. I do like Havertz, but this was an awful game. And I saw Alex Goldberg say something on Twitter. It's like, when Havertz has good games, they're really, really good. But when he has bad games, they are awful. But again, he said, like, it's part of the learning process for him. And hopefully, with this game time, he's going to get more consistent. But I just don't know I don't know with you, to be honest, Laurenz. Like, I would have tried Lukaku today, but I fear that I would have said the same thing about Lukaku. To be honest with you, I would have probably said he was not involved. What did he offer? The same old shit. So I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, but as I said, more time fighting today than playing football or doing something useful to help the team.
Yep, fair. Let me read out the super chat by Jess. I appreciate it as always, mate. Saying, Thomas Tuchel did the same thing with Christian Pulisic at Dortmund. Klopp got the best out of Pulisic, not Tuchel. Tuchel still sees him as a super sub, and that won't change. Now, my perspective on that is fair enough if we have better players, but we don't. Like, if you had players like Dembele and Reece, and who I don't know if Reece was playing on the wing at Dortmund in those times, or was it still Blaszczykowski, or had Blaszczykowski left then already? I don't know. But, when you have players that play better, fine. No problem with someone being a super sub if they're useful at being a super sub. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer somehow became a legend at Manchester United for simply being a super sub. Obviously, times have changed and things are different now, but still. But the problem is we don't have anyone that's playing better than him either. And then it's ridiculous, if I'm honest. I mean, Pice, what are your thoughts on what Jesse said there?
I mean, the proof's in the pudding, really. He's right. Tuchel does see him as the super sub. He's even said before he sees him, he's not exactly said those words, but he said, he's very, very good off the bench. He's hinted towards it. And I think that, I don't know, man. Like, the thing is, like, with Pulisic, like, he's inconsistent as a starter as well, but he's better than Werner, which is the point. So play him over fucking Werner. You know what I mean? Like, it's not to say that Pulisic won't have poor games or be inconsistent, because he will. But he's better than Werner as a footballer, as a dribbler, as a shooter, as a passer. So play him over Werner. You know what I mean? It's that simple to me. So I said, like, when I saw that lineup, I was 100% honest with you. I thought we'd see rotation today. Like, we're not going to see rotation next week if we didn't see it after 2 days, like 2 days rest. Like, no way. This is going to be the same front three again.
Next week, the only hope we have is that someone played well enough in training that got them their place in the team. Because I guess we never train properly at the moment, so you can't really...
Yeah, I suppose.
Show yourself in training. You don't really have that opportunity when you play every 2 days. But now that we have a week, that's my only hope.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like Tuchel's clearly using this front three to build up rhythm for the cup final, but it's not working in the majority of the...
Because I think Clutch made a very good point. If they keep playing badly, that's going to make them worse than if you throw them in only against Liverpool.
But then, like, another point I mentioned, how much did our fans get on Tuchel for changing the front three all the time throughout the season?
But the problem is with that, and I agree with you completely, I have that same issue sometimes. As we saw with the whole... It seemed like everyone had a go at us for giving Ruben a 7, right? then we did a poll, and the majority of people voted 7 anyway. And I feel like that's how it's like. There's probably a few select between 5 and 20 that complain at him rotating the front three too much, and then we remember those 5 to 20, and then you're like, everyone complains. Do you know what I mean? I think everyone on social media has the problem sometimes. Like, do you know how a few people always seem like a lot of people? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so it's just like if you bring Ziyech in and Pulisic today and they play crap, like people would say, well, why didn't you just stick with Mount and Werner? Like that's the problem with me. It's like how far do you go with criticizing the manager for keeping the same front three? You know what I mean? Because there's two sides to it. Like he wants to clearly stick with a front three and find something, but then at the same time, one of them
Problem is,
or
it's just
two or
sticking
three
with
of
the
them are
wrong
playing
front
shit.
three. Imagine
But
if the
is there a
Barcelona
right,
manager
Lawrence?
stuck with a front three that didn't include Messi. And I'm not trying to include
Lawrence, is there a
compare
right
any of
front
our
three?
players to Messi, but I'm saying if you
Is
pick the
there-
players that aren't your best front three, don't make them play every game.
No,
if that makes
but
sense.
is there a best front three? Is there a right front
No,
three?
maybe not.
No,
But then
and
don't
that's the
stick to
point.
one. If you don't have a best one, don't stick to one.
But then when he rotates it, most people moan and say there's no consistency. So,
I mean,
So-
I haven't done that, but I see, yeah.
but like
you're
no,
not wrong.
like so many people on social media do this, bro. They were doing it again today. It's like, how does he win? How does he win with this squad? How does he win with this attack? If I don't know. There's so many. You know where I'm coming from. Like, if he sticks with it, people moan. If he changes it, people moan. Like, that's why I'm just like whatever at this point, and just have a go at the players because none of them are consistent enough. Whatever. So, I don't know. Like, there's not a shoo-in in this front three apart from Mount, but even Mount has bad games. You know what I mean? Like today, it's like
I mean, everyone will have bad games. That the problem is, we have a few players like a Mount, like a Thiago Silva, like a Rudiger, like a Reece James that have good games more often than not. Shall I say? Mount maybe less so in that realm, but
and in
Rudiger,
the attack
Thiago
we
Silva,
don't have
Reece
that,
James.
right? In the attack
Sorry?
we don't have that, right? So
No,
like
100%. Also part of the problem. What I'm trying to say is, when players are not always good, it's fine. Like, because it's the most difficult is right for attackers to be consistently good because, you know, the opposition's, like Lampard literally said, he tried to stop Mount essentially getting the ball. So obviously it's going to be a particularly difficult day for Mount, right? If that's the whole plan, it makes sense. But if the rest of the team still have a good level consistently, then it doesn't matter so much if one or two have an off day. But the problem is, when we have an off day, like look at the ratings, 7 of us have an off day at the same time. And that's part of the, like, I agree the inconsistency, but it's not even inconsistency as individuals. I think it's inconsistencies as a team that's our big problem, personally.
yeah, I see your point totally.
Yeah.
I see
But,
all
like,
sides of it.
You're still
Like,
right
it's-
with what you're saying that they individually.
I see all sides of it. I just think there's more shoo-ins in the defense and midfield than the attack, and that's the problem. Like, we need to get to a point where we're happy with all 3 of our attackers. And
I just don't think I don't think that's realistic because you're never going to be happy with all 3 of them all the time.
why? Liverpool and City have it. Why can't we?
How old are all they? Our attack average is
Bro,
at 20,
I
is
don't
22.
care. Those guys have been amazing since the start.
Huh?
Manchester
Mohamed
City.
Salah
and-
was the same age that all 3 of our attackers were when he left
Bro,
us.
you can't just blame age though. It's a part of it, of course.
That
But
is
you-
a part of it.
you-
It's a big part of it.
It's a part of it.
You
But
need
if you
experience, and if you can't get consistent experience, that's why I say put Cho on loan because Cho is 21. If he
Bro,
goes
but
and
you
plays
look
in,
at
like,
all the
the
talented
Bundesliga for a
attackers
year,
out there now, bro. They're all young players. Hence why we buy so many of them. Like name me a right winger and a left winger that are like 27 years old that could come into this team and be consistent. You can't. They're all young players
name a
nowadays.
22 or 23-year-old.
What? Salah, Mane, I mean, Mahrez.
Liverpool have them, you know, like City have them. They've done all the
Yeah,
recruitment
yeah.
and scouting. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
Like, it's fucked. We're fucked. We're just gonna keep having to do these fucking experiments with the signings.
But Pice is not wrong. Like all the other talented wingers that aren't already at the top clubs that you'd be
They're somewhere
interested in.
else.
Look at Chiesa. I mean, injured anyway, but Chiesa, Dembele without his injury problems, like Vinicius Junior. Obviously Mbappe when in class as a winger or a striker, but all of these super talents, they're all young. It is true. Like you're not wrong. There's no there's none like they don't exist, and the only one that was there was Ziyech, and we signed him. To be fair.
And Lukaku up front. Oh, look, he's 29 years old. Perfect. Bit of experience in this team. And he just turns into a fucking donkey again. Great.
Anthony of Ajax, yeah, the next young one. There you go.
I don't know. So many problems.
There you go. I mean, Clutch, what's your reaction to Jester's comments before we quickly round off the subs and then performance in Tuchel?
I mean, he's not wrong. The thing is, it's like, I asked the question, why did Lampard get more out of Pulisic than Tuchel is? And there's only one answer I have. It's because Lampard trusts him more than Tuchel does. Because Tuchel's a by far better manager, no matter what we've seen today. Is a by far better manager. He should know that Pulisic is a player who plays off of confidence. Yes, he's going to have a bad game here or there. It's just going to happen. But he gets a run of like 6 games where he's one of our better players, and we're in like Havertz, him, Mount, seeming our best front three. We're the most fluid. We're scoring goals. Things are looking good. And then he has one bad game. And granted, it was a bad game. Not gonna defend it. Then it gets dropped. Then you have Werner, who has 2 bad games, doesn't get dropped.
But she clearly just doesn't rate him. It's just
I know that. I know that. I'm well aware of that. But then I don't know what you want. Like, you have to do what you have to do with the players you have. So, and Pulisic is one of your better players. You have to play your better players. Even if you don't believe that. Because you can't tell me that he goes out there he sees Werner running around for 90 minutes and he thinks he's some lights out, super talented player.
I don't know what he sees. That's why I'm thinking he's just. I think this season's finished, bro. I think we're just looking towards the cup final, honestly. And he's just trying, no matter how shit. You know what he did? You remember how many games he kept playing Lukaku in a row? That's what he's doing with Werner right now. Lukaku was so shit, right? But it's like
he was wrong then already. I'm just saying.
And it's like whenever he next drops Werner, like maybe it's the same thing. He just stays on the bench for ages. I don't know. He's doing the same thing. I don't know why he's doing it. I don't have answers. That's why I said play Pulisic today. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I don't know.
And that's where I start to have. That's like the only problem I have with Tuchel is those kind of things. It's just, it makes no sense because we know how good he is. And that's why it's so frustrating. I'm half mad at Pulisic too because he had a bad game that allowed him to get dropped. That I get to have to watch Werner for 5 games when he's being terrible. Now I have to watch that. I'm mad at Pulisic too. But at the same time, we should just move on.
No, you can go on.
It's just I think there is more of a benefit to trying to get something out of Pulisic than there is Werner. That's
100%. 100%. I don't understand why Tuchel doesn't agree to it. I mean, when I see that comment here, obviously I don't know if it's true, but let's assume it's true. Chelsea have made 14 errors leading to goals in the Premier League since the start of the season. Only Everton, since the start of last season, mind you, only Everton with 1 more 15 have made more. Like the amount of points we cost ourselves. Like we say it's all because Chile got injured. I mean, maybe we make more mistakes because Chile's injured, but still. And I wanted to highlight this to myself. So this comment by Frank here. If you show up, you should play. If you don't, you get benched. We lost this, now attackers don't care if they get to start anyway. Bench, don't care because they'll be benched next game anyway. Now, while I actually agree with that, yeah. I wasn't questioning you, Pedro. I was just saying I can't prove that it's true. But the problem with what you're saying there is, and while it's true, half the problem of that is, okay, let's say we change our attackers every time they don't play well. Let's say for the next game now, we take out Werner and we take out Havertz. And maybe we leave Mount in there just for a little bit of continuity. So let's say next game we start Pulisic and Lukaku with Mount. And let's say Pulisic and Lukaku also have a bad game. Okay, then you take them back up. Then you throw Ziyech in there. And who? You then throw Werner back in there? Because you dropped him for a reason. So you just bring him back when the other guy also plays badly? That's the problem with bench someone when they play badly. That's true. But what if no one plays well enough to be benched? And then once you are benched, and you need to bench the other guy, how do you get back in the side? Because you just got benched the week before. And then it's just an endless cycle of playing players that are out of form because they don't play regularly, but also they play bad every time, so they don't deserve to play more. So it's like, what happens? Like, and I mean, that's the problem we had at times this season. And that's when, like Pi said, some people complain that we don't have no continuity. And then he picks the same front three to start regularly. Unfortunately, picks the wrong one with Timo Werner included in it. But Timo Werner also scored some important goals. I mean, in the end, it didn't count, but that was Kante's fault, not Timo's fault. And, what he did away at Madrid didn't matter. I mean, Southampton, we at least got the 3 points, I suppose. And then you play Pulisic, but if he plays badly again, you just throw Werner in, and then Werner plays bad, you throw Pulisic in, and then Pulisic plays bad, and you throw Werner in. Like, it does, like, the idea of that works perfectly, Frank, but only if at least some of your attackers play well, somewhat regularly. Because if they all, more often than not, play badly, even if they have one good game and then one other bad game, if you then drop them, then the other guy comes in that used to be bad 7 days earlier. Like, it's just a never-ending problem that happens when your players aren't that good. We should have probably done Cobb already because he did play the whole second half. I don't think he was anywhere near supposed to play 45 minutes today. So that's a problem in of itself already. To be fair, he wasn't out for long. When did you get injured? What game was it again, Pies? Was it against Palace, the FA Cup game?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually exactly 2 weeks ago, to be fair, isn't it? Or is it 3 weeks ago?
Two and a half?
I think it's 2 weeks ago.
Two? Yeah, something like that.
So he wasn't out for long, so fitness should be okay. Like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like a 6-week injury and he's just thrown back in there straight after he comes back into training. It was just, he missed training for not even fully 2 weeks. But still, I mean, he was okay second half. Nothing, I didn't see particularly loads of great things. I didn't see particularly loads of bad things. Somehow it was still Ruben that was more active offensively, I felt. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because if I have the same logic as I do with Jorginho, I should also give Cobb a bad rating because, but obviously there was no press to beat because they parked the bus. But did Cobb do anything useful? No. But at the same time, I'm like, but the game was different. And also his role is different. Even if he plays in the same position, I don't know. I might give him a 5 and go that tad higher than Jorginho, but I could also give him the same if I'm honest. Clutch. What about you?
Other than that moment where Anthony Gordon did him in, I don't remember too much. He did have the shot. He did have the shot, I think, from Pulisic.
Oh, Coleman also did him in once on the counter attack, but you know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad I forgot about that. Yeah, he had a shot that was saved.
Oh yeah, actually in injury time, wasn't it? That was another decent save for Pickford, to be fair.
5.5.
Okay, there you go. Pice, what about you? What do you make of Cobb? You're a big fan of his, so maybe you noticed him more than ourselves?
Well, Mount's got a 5.5, and Kovacic did more going forward than he did in the whole game, so...
Not sure about that one.
He did, bro. He was way more active, bro. Way more noticeable.
Like 30 yards further back, sure. But like, where's position? I'm not criticizing that. I'm just saying, like...
5.5.
Fair dues. You can have...
I also don't think he's fully fit, by the way.
No. Like I say, I don't think he was supposed to play 45 minutes at all. So yeah, 100%. I just didn't want to get... I personally don't think he should be a full point better than Jorginho. Maybe if you include Mount in it, maybe... I mean, to be fair, didn't I give Mount the 5? No, I said 5.5. But still, I just didn't feel like Cobb warrants a full point more than Georgie, which is why I said 5 initially. But anyway, Pulisic and Ziyech. Now, if I'm honest, sorry. You guys help me. Shout if you think I'm wrong. Shout if you think I'm right. I'm going to try to move this around now how I think we played once those two subs were made. Okay? Because I'm still, to this moment, not 1,000,000% sure what exactly we were attempting to do. Because somehow, Pulisic and Ziyech were on the right half the time, I swear. I mean, Ziyech was on the left at times too. But was Ziyech mainly on the left, would you say? Because Pulisic was definitely on the right.
No, Pulisic and Ziyech were on the right.
They were both on the right.
So who was on the left?
No one.
Oh, it was Mountain. Like, Mount was like half there.
Yeah. It was like they were all going down the right.
Havertz was in the middle, and Alonso was like the wide.
Because Cobb was the left side, and Ruben was the right side, right? So, and Cobb was still more defensive than Ruben. So everyone was here.
And that's
And
what I
don't
meant.
think-
No
because
one
I
was in the
thought
box.
Pulisic was so far out wide all the time, but Ziyech must have been even further out wide and behind him.
See, Pulisic was more like tucked in, like in line with Ruben for me. Ziyech was more wide from what I was noticing.
I thought at one point Pulisic was like an 8. That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
thought
kind
it
of
was
like
when Pulisic played
like
wing back. I wasn't even sure we switched to a back four.
we definitely did
switched.
switch it back for.
We did switch.
Did or did not?
We
Yeah, we
did.
did.
That's what I thought. But still, both of our wingers were fully out right on the right and doing nothing.
That's
The commentary
what I meant.
said
There was
Ruben
no one in the box.
dropped into a lone 6 role.
Was
I don't
Ruben
know, I
deeper
wasn't
than
paying-
Pogba at the end? Was he? Maybe.
That's what they said. And I think
I don't know
Ruben
if I
just
agree
drove
with that.
farther than Kovac. I think that's just what happened.
Maybe it was kind of like Ruben was alone in the midfield and then Mount and covered by the left side and Pulisic and Ziyech by the right side. Maybe that's the idea.
Because they were talking about like a midfield diamond.
But
and
when I
was
see
like, I don't
that,
see how a
that, sounds,
midfield
that
diamond
seems like an
happened.
awful idea. Look at this. Like Reece James is, I mean, even though he had a bad game, it's probably the most likely to create anything from wide areas. And what do? You put 2 wide players in front of him. Excuse me? I don't understand this at all. I'm baffled.
No, see,
Baffled.
for me, Pulisic was more tucked in. James was still up there, but he
But
was
what do you
definitely
mean? Is he
behind
not
Ziyech.
tucked in already?
No. He was more central. That's kind of still wide.
Like
Yeah, kind of like there. And then Ziyech was further up on the wide. Then James was pushing up, but then we got caught on the counter attack because there was one occasion, more like that, where James had to run back against
But who
Gordon.
was here though? Was it Mount here? Because I don't think he was.
I didn't. Kovacic was definitely on the left hand side,
Yeah.
but I didn't notice Mount. I was more paying
Yeah,
attention.
I
to
have
the
no idea
right-hand
why Mount
side.
was the second half, I'm honest.
Yeah. But this is what it was like when he came on, because I remember Pulisic picking up the ball in the middle, driving into the
But I
box.
I swear, I also saw Pulisic right here a couple of times.
He was also
Because
on the
I
left
was
a
like,
couple of
why
times
is he
too.
there? I don't understand.
At the end, Pulisic went over to the left.
Yeah, at the end.
It didn't really work.
I didn't see Alonso either anymore at the end, if I'm honest. I have no idea where he was.
I don't know.
I'm just going to put this back into the formation that it was when we started, so at least we have an idea of what the formation was. Where's Aspie gone? There he is. Ziyech played right centre back. Gas. And Werner was over here. Havertz was over here. Mount was somewhere kind of behind them. And then Georgie and Cover. Obviously, first half it was the other way around. Second half, Cover was left, Room was right. But hey, here we are. Now, performance and Thomas Tuchel, which, oh no, we haven't rated Pulisic and Ziyech. Do we give them a rating or do they get an NA?
I don't know.
Oh,
NA,
fucking
I guess.
Arsenal are in the lead again. Fuck off.
Right.
Yeah, Pice, do you reckon Ziyech, do you have a rating for him?
Not really. Same with Pulisic as well. They didn't really get enough time, to be honest with you.
Other than when he tried to claim a corner when he messed up the dribble. It might have been a corner, fair enough, I didn't see. But he screwed it up in front. I didn't even notice Ziyech. And 1 or 2 random free kicks.
He got on the ball a few times. There was one moment where he done step overs, got past someone in the box, but then nothing came of it. I don't know. Subs are so hard when they don't come on at 60 minutes or at full time. I don't feel like you can give a accurate rating of anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree if I'm honest, but
Also, where's HM for wanting us to do a favor for Lampard? Now Arsenal are going to pass us to get third.
brilliant. Hope
Thanks,
he's happy.
HM. Thanks.
Hope he's happy.
Hope you have a good day, bub.
I mean, but Werner and Ziyech, Ziyech and Pulisic, they came on after 68 minutes. Like, it wasn't even, subs weren't even super late today. I think we need to give them a rating, if I'm honest. Like, 60, and there was 7 minutes of stoppage time. Obviously, a lot of interruptions in between, but that in total gives them, 29 minutes of play?
5 then.
For both?
Or 6 for both. I don't know. 6 is average, isn't it? But when you want someone to impact. Like, it's hard because, again, I just felt like no one was in the box. So when Ziyech wanted to cross a couple of times, no one was fucking there. Like, that's why I would have
I
bought
would give them
Lukaku
a
on.
5 because I don't think I saw anything positive. To be honest, even the 5s are harsh. Were they 5 points better than Werner and Havertz? Absolutely not.
I don't know. This is one of the games I would have bought Lukaku on. By the way, I don't know if Jorginho is injured because Tuchel said we had to bring Jorginho off.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just can't see how he saw Havertz's performance and thought, fucking hell, yeah, let's keep him on. Like, I don't know, but it's funny how, isn't it, how after Lukaku's interview and all that, Tuchel's just literally just shut on Lukaku and throws him out. I reckon
But he didn't, though.
That was it for him, I think.
He stuck with him for quite a few games after that interview. He only dropped him for Liverpool, and then we kept playing him for like 5 games after.
10 games in a row.
Off the bench, though, right? Or am I getting it wrong?
So the first game after the interview, he wasn't in the squad at all. And then the next following 10 games, he started all of them. Every competition. FA
Maybe
Cup.
I'm wrong then, but it certainly feels like that now that he's just done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I can't remember what game was it, because he started Arsenal, but there was one game where everyone was like, get Lukaku on, and then he didn't bring him on. He brought on 3 other subs, and everyone was like, yeah, he's done. Like, he's gone.
Oh,
what game was that?
Game either.
Can't remember that game, but
I don't know.
I don't know, but it was so obvious you brought Lukaku on like today, and he just didn't come on, and that was just weird to me. Like, yeah, like he's done. Like,
yeah. Okay. Are you going to stick to your 5s, yeah? Even if you gave Werner and Havertz 0s?
I mean, maybe the subs should both get 0s, considering we fucking needed something, but I don't know.
Yeah, and we certainly didn't. I mean, we did a little bit more, but none of that came through the subs. If anything, Pulisic had one moment where I think could have done a bit more, and unfortunately, the cross didn't come off. Got intercepted anyway. I probably would have given them both no higher than a 4 anyway. Just because I'm I'm not saying they were necessarily so bad, and I understand that it was, but then a difficult decision, Everton just wasting time, this and that. Like, I understand it, but we criticize Havertz for everything that happened in the same 29 minutes that Pulisic and Ziyech played, and they didn't do anything any better than Havertz did. So why should they be getting a high rating? So I'm not even sure if I want to give them a 4, if I'm honest. I don't know, Clutch. What about you? Like, you also gave Werner and Havertz 0s. You can't be telling me Pulisic and Ziyech did any more than them two.
No, but I understand where they're coming from, so I'm not going to say I don't want to rate them. It's not.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that.
I understand where they're coming from.
These guys, they're expected to come on and change the game, even though they're clearly out of favor, clearly don't. How do you get them motivated to go and win the game when everybody else is trash around?
I don't know. Ask Ruben. He found a way.
Ruben's trying to play for a spot in Chelsea. Those two probably may not leave. We don't know. I don't want to rate them on that. Like, if I were to rate them, I'd give them like a 4.5 or a 5. I do think, because the Kovacic shot came from a Pulisic pass, so I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, bro. I have no idea. I'm going to say 4, but who cares? Give him a 4.5 then. But yeah, I just don't know. It doesn't really fucking matter to me either, if I'm honest. So, performance and Tuchel. Let's do performance, I guess. I don't know. Should I put it with Ruben now because I don't have space? Put it to Mount. Price. No, Clutch. Why do you go first?
0. A relegation side, and that's what you did? That's a 0. And you know what? No, I'll give it a 1. I'll give it a 1 for Ruben. That's why. That's the guy who cared. One guy. So you get a 1. That one guy gets the 1 point for the team. Thank you.
Okay, Pice.
Can't disagree, to be honest. It's pretty much explained everything. I would have probably said similar in terms of Ruben. 10 players were shit or average. I don't know. The fight in terms of beef with Everton players was there, but the fight on the pitch in terms of like
winning second goals and stuff.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like them thinking, yeah, fuck this. This is I hate these guys. We cannot lose to these guys. That just wasn't there. Like the drive wasn't there. It was Everton's day. You could tell it from first 10 minutes, bro. Like even arguably the first minute, like when Ruben gave
That's
that
what
foul
annoyed
away,
me, bro. I'm like,
he
bro,
was just like,
their
oh fuck
fans
it, you know
tried to
what?
be dickheads by
Yeah.
just setting off fireworks, and that didn't spark any motivation in you. What a bunch of shameful people you are.
Yeah.
Like that's why the title is comedians, not footballers. Like that's what they're not serious.
And it's just so annoying as well because like if we scored like just one goal, you know that crowd would have turned on them and wouldn't have been the same. They wouldn't have had that energy, that boost to win those second balls. You know, they could. This is a relegation team. They can go from 100 miles an hour and playing on adrenaline to absolute dog shit. Like if by the way, fair play to Pickford as well because even on the Rudiger save, like great save and shit. Like Rudiger scores that, like we're back in it. Like then I think it's our game. But because that didn't happen, because the team didn't get those moments, partly because of Pickford, but 90% because of our own fucking doing. It has to be a 1 or a 0. It can't be like there's no alternative. You know what I mean?
Let's not kill ourselves either. By the way, Lampard did well today. Lampard stopped us from doing anything at all and knew exactly how to hurt us.
Yep. Also,
Pressurise
credit to Joe Edwards as well because you know he would have had something to do with that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like Lampard said it, stop giving the ball to Mount, then we're dead. And that's why the only good player was Ruben because obviously Georgie can't do it. And the reason why then Ruben was useful is because he could at least run through the team. He didn't do it enough either. Do you know what I mean? But everyone else, if we don't get the ball to Mount and we crowd out the box so we can't cross it, then we're dead. And it's so easy to stop us. And then under pressure, who's the most susceptible? Aspi and Alonso. Who did they put most pressure on all game long? Aspi and Alonso. Where did the goal come from? Aspi. Like, fair play, if I'm honest. Fair play. But Pies, did you agree on the one for the rating, yeah?
Yeah, for the lone soldier and Ruben, who looked like he cared.
See, I know I'm going to contradict a little bit because I've said how shit everything is. But what if we lose a game? What did we say for Brentford? Probably 0. We lost 4-1. Compared to that today, we lost 1-0. So I'm like, can't give it pretty much the same rate. So I probably would have gone like 3 or something.
No, but this game's almost more depressing than that game because Brentford was almost like it was almost funny how we, like how we conceded 6 against Man City. You're just like fuck it now, like you know what I mean.
Like
Brentford
the same, like the one was at the bridge,
but,
man. Like I know our home record's awful, but
like
still.
this was just depressing to watch. Like this, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I've always thought that. Like when we get smashed, I'm almost like fair play to the other team and we're shit kind of thing. But when
I'm
we
less
play
annoyed
like
than
this,
too. I agree, but in terms of if I try to rate the performance, then I think it's worse the more we concede. Other than City away losing 1-0, because then we didn't even attempt to do anything. That's different.
And that's how I felt like it today.
I've rarely seen an Everton team this bad, and that's what we lost to. That's fine.
Yeah, but even though they're obviously behind them in the table, like on their day, they're no worse than Brentford. Like even Norwich on their day can be good. The problem is these guys aren't good consistently. But when they have a good day, they have a good day. All these teams have players that can play football. Do you know what I mean?
They played on adrenaline. You know what I mean? Like the whole game was just a fucking from minute 1 to 90.
And I'm sure their fans doing what they did helped them because it was like the
bro, like 100%. It's people need to. Like, yes, we were shit, but there's 100% other factors. Like, they just wanted it more. They won every second ball. They pressed better. Like, it's basics.
And that's what disappoints me so much.
It doesn't always come down to tactics. It's almost, it comes down to basics a lot of the time. This is why lower teams do beat the big teams because they just outwork them, outfight them. And that creates opportunities in themselves. So it sometimes comes down to little things as well,
Exactly. No, 100%. And like, for me, like, someone said in the chat, it's disgraceful, the whole firework thing. For me, the firework thing is the opposite of an excuse. For me, what the fireworks did, they should have meant we're more up for it. Like this performance, I would have almost accepted it more without the fireworks happening because they're like, well, Everton are fighting for their lives while we have like nothing to play for, even though if Arsenal beat West Ham, you never know what can happen. With Spurs having beat Leicester as well. But because of the fireworks, I feel like shouldn't that have woken something up in you? And didn't, even if it cost them some sleep, it doesn't fucking matter. You're playing on adrenaline anyway. How the fuck do you think neurosurgeons work for 24 hours straight? Like, Obviously, you can't do that every night, but one night, even if it's an hour less sleep, not an excuse for anything. If anything,
To
it should
be
have
fair,
annoyed you that they woke you up. So fucking go for it hard, and we didn't.
To be fair, none of them in the press conference, from what I can see, or Tuchel used that as an excuse. But
Oh no,
yeah,
I'm not saying they're using it as an excuse, but I am disappointed that they
oh
didn't
yeah,
use it as motivation.
oh yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. But anyway, Thomas Tuchel. I'm gonna hold myself to last again because I think I might go the harshest out of us three. So Pice, what would you think of Tuchel? How would you rate his performance today?
I think he got the lineup wrong. I think there should be more rotation. We didn't play well. I think, can he motivate his players better at half time? We don't know that because we're not in the dressing room. We don't know what he said. So it's very hard, but I mean, it was a shit performance, and that does come down to the manager as well. Interesting as well, quote he said after full time on the attackers. He got asked about the attacking play, and he said, "If there's something I can do, I will try it to change it. But if I knew about it, I would have done it. I would have done it before already." And then he said that he has to prioritize clean sheets.
Even worse.
So
That's even worse, man.
it's even worse. He's given up on all of these attackers. So yeah, we're fucked. I'm not looking forward to the next few games. Honestly, I'm just really not.
No. Thank God we don't have a midweek game, so I don't have to think about these clowns for a week,
Christ, yeah. It's just bad. It's. I don't know. I don't know how much. Of course, you know I blame the squad and the players 10 times more than Tuchel, but the lineup was wrong. The performance was shit.
The subs were bad.
What
Like
time
obviously Jorginho was forced, but what Havertz said on the pitch is unforgivable in my opinion.
What times did they? Does anyone know the exact times they both came on?
68th minute, both of them. Double sub, wasn't it?
Yeah. 2, maybe.
Okay. I will get to Rich's super chat, by the way. I don't know where with the $20. I appreciate it very much. But I let Clutch go first before I then kind of include it, and then you guys can respond to it as well if you want to. But Clutch, 2 from Pice. What about you?
2. We knew Werner was never going to work. Played him anyway. Only other question is Azpi, but you put your captain out there because you got to.
You know what? Just to say on that, I'm almost at the point now where I'm not even gonna use that as a point to why Tuchel has to do that, because if you think about it, if he didn't play Azpi at all and just stuck with Chalobah, right, now until the end of the season, Azpi is not going to kick up a fuss. Like, he's still a great professional.
And the Athletic apparently let out that Barcelona are confident of signing him anyway.
Exactly. So you don't have to have your captain on the pitch. You know what I mean?
The only thing it meant is that his auto extension wouldn't have happened if he didn't play all the time.
Like, I just don't think that can be used as a, you know what I mean? Fair enough. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a weird one because
Azpi on the pitch every time we capitulate, so it can't exactly mean,
And he's not going to get dropped for next game, even though he's going to cost us this game. So, I don't know. Yeah, can we really use that as a point anymore as to why, why he keeps being picked? Because he's captain. I mean,
I think we should be looking at the new captain. I think we should be looking at a new captain as the vice captain, and that way they just take over whenever, whether it be your James or your Mount. I don't care who it is. Azpi cannot be him being the captain cannot be the reason he's on the pitch anymore. And I know that's the reason, unfortunately, but it can't happen anymore. So whether there's
no guarantee Chalobah doesn't make the same mistake. Last time Chalobah played, not last time, but before his last game, when he played, he may also made mistakes. You can't say, if Chalobah plays instead of Azpi, there's a guarantee the mistake doesn't happen. Or Christensen, he made the stinker against Arsenal. So if Christensen obviously wasn't in the squad anyway, but say he didn't have his, vagina stomach, do you know what I mean? Then he made a mistake against Arsenal. So who's to say he wouldn't have made a mistake as well today? So you can't say, that's, do you know what I mean, Coach?
No, I agree 100%. 。 . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . I think Jester said it earlier on in the season. I don't think Aspie is the same captain he used to be. And I think you need somebody like a James or a Mount who, I mean, both of them were in both of the fights today, even though they weren't really, well, Mount was. James wasn't. He was just trying to break it up. I think you just need that kind of presence. And Aspie isn't anymore, you know? So I think it's just, we need to kind of look to a future beyond Aspie. We need a new captain. Because when Pulisic came on, he had the armband and gave it to Silva, so I don't know why he had the armband, but please don't do that.
Fair. Now, my rating for Tuchel is going to be 0 because Havertz got a 0 and Havertz stayed on the pitch. And that's just, I just cannot fathom and comprehend how that decision was made. Why was taking Aspie off more important than taking Havertz off? Like, we changed to a back four. At that point, that doesn't fucking matter. If the opposition parks the bus and plays with 10 defenders, it doesn't matter whether you play a back three or a back four. Thiago Silva was like halfway in the opposition's half. The formation doesn't matter anymore at that point. So changing the shape doesn't make a flipping difference. And like, we whipped cross to who? To Havertz. Like, we brought Ziyech on, who's best at passing and long balls, crosses, that type of thing. To who? To Havertz, who lost every battle against Mina. Well, he's not exactly, I mean, he had one header, to be fair, but I can't remember whether that was before or after the subs. But, like, he lost all day that battle. So we're going to cross to him, are we? And and Pulisic, in my opinion, was still too far away. I know Pai said he thinks he was narrow. I really don't think he was. At least not enough. And not anywhere near close to box enough. Like, give Pulisic the ball, let him run into the box, hope that he can win your penalty or score a goal. That's what you need to allow him. Don't put him on the side. He can't cross to save his life anyway. And even if he could, there was no one in the box to make use of those crosses. So, yeah, that's why I said 0. Leaves us at a 1 overall. Let me get to that super chat by Richard. I appreciate it very much, like I say, mate. Saying, isn't too hard to game plan for a team when they play the same formation every game and basically the same squad every game. I mean, obviously the squad is, we don't have that many more fit players than everyone that is in the team. But still, it's the same players. It's the same formation. Yeah, I agree. I mean, myself and Pice, we were saying it yesterday. Pice brought it up and I was like, to be honest, I agree. Joe Edwards went to them. Lampard knows, other than Lukaku, and he's the guy we didn't play, brilliant, every single player in this team because he trained them himself. So to play all players that the opposition manager has already trained in the system that the opposition's manager's assistant worked on with you until a few months ago, shameful, absolutely disgraceful. And I think, and someone said earlier, don't use clickbait like that. No, this is not clickbait. Thomas Tuchel got out-coached by Frank Lampard today in every way. Every single way. They worked harder. They won second balls better. They defended better. And they attacked better. Every single thing they did it better than us. Every single one of them. There's nothing that they did worse. Nothing. Like Lampard. Like, I love him as a player. But you know how by we, I mean, as a Chelsea fan base, how a lot of us spoke about Lampard and how we lose to them. That's absolutely embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, honestly. I'm on. If anything, I'm surprised that more people aren't harsh on Tuchel. If I'm honest, after today, I'm surprised by that. I mean, someone said,
"Well, you should just go on Twitter, bro. Everyone's saying fucking Tuchel out." Jesus.
Okay, fair play. Well, I'm not saying that. By the way, when I criticize Tuchel, when I say he needs to do better, stuff like that, I don't mean Tuchel out, not by any means. But he needs to do better than this. Like that is just absolutely not it. I did see some comment earlier, and I can't even think of what the comment is that I wanted to mention. Yeah, regardless. Oh yeah, basically he's more like Jose, and he's not as attacking as like Klopp and Pep. And it's a thing that I want to almost discuss for a second because Pice has brought this up plenty of times. In his previous clubs, obviously, I don't necessarily know. I mean, I know about things at Mainz, but I couldn't tell you whether they played attacking football. Do you know what I mean? But we know at Dortmund and at PSG, they did. Of course, very different leagues. But what that tells you is that he has at least the capabilities within himself to play offensive football. But we can't say he doesn't for us. He said he has to prioritize clean sheets. He literally said that. Like, we play for control
He wants that defensive midfielder, bro. That's what he wants.
That's all
telling
well
you-
and good.
No, but I'm
get
just
what he
saying.
wants, though.
I'm telling you now, bro. The reason why we play 3 at the back is because we don't have a defensive midfielder. I'm
But
telling you now.
it's not just the formation, though. Even when we play a back four, we don't play attacking. Like you said it yesterday, you don't like the 4-1-4-1 because the striker gets isolated. The striker doesn't get isolated in an attacking team.
We still have more opportunities, though, I'd say, when we play 4 at the back.
Do we?
Because we had another attacker in there.
4-0 in the 3 at the back.
I know, we do. We get forward more, though, but that's obviously natural because you have an extra attacker. But I don't know. When it comes down to this formation, it's like some games were really good and just other games, like we want that 4 at the back. But then it's hard because of our attackers and stuff like that. Like it's, I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think he doesn't do it more? You know, everyone's got a different
I honestly
opinion.
don't know, and I would want nothing more than to ask him that question, and to ask him that question without a camera being present. Because if a camera's present, he will give a camera answer, and I don't want the camera answer. I want a real answer.
I think we just he's too afraid of getting fucked on transitions if we go to attacking. That's my opinion. He wants that defensive midfielder that can block the space, cut the lines, that sort of thing.
Okay, but let's say
I also don't think he trusts some of these defenders.
But let's say we signed the defensive midfielder, whether it's Tchouaméni, whether it's Rice, whether it's I don't know if we can't afford that Kamara. Let's say that, and then we do it, and we still get fucked on a counter attack. Does he stop it again and play a back 3?
See, I don't think we would. Considering Chilwell and James would both be fit, I don't think that happens. And as long as say Mount plays,
we don't know how good Chile will be. So
but say it's like a 4-3-3, for example, and you have Mount as an 8, but they also come back, and it's not like Lampard's 4-3-3 where the 2 8s push forward and Jorginho got fucked because they didn't run back. You know what I mean? That's how we got always murdered on the transitions because. Like, they can be 8s, but obviously the profiles matter as well. They've got to come back and work hard because at the end of the day, that's what Liverpool do as well, bro. You think how hard they work back and forward when they play that 4-3-3.
And you need fast centre-backs.
Fabinho doesn't get isolated, you know what I mean? Like, it's something I'm very intrigued to see in pre-season, like, for sure, because...
But the thing is,
he's not
a year ago, and we all thought we'd play back 4 this season. And then how many games we played? 6?
He doesn't. For me though, bro, like he doesn't. I don't think he has the profile and the team he wants to go for that because he's never done this at any of his other clubs. And I know they're different, but remember the first thing. Remember the first thing he ever said.
But say now he was manager of, I don't know, Aston Villa, right? Who obviously don't have anywhere near the same squad we do. Would he, because they don't have the same squad, also play a back 3? Because they don't obviously have a DM like we do as well. Or because he did at Mainz, right? Or then would he, because the standards are lower and the expectations are lower, would he then be okay with being caught in transition? There's so many things I don't understand
it's
about
a good point. Again, I just come back to the first thing he ever said when he joined Chelsea is, this team fits and suits a back 3, hence why I went with it. That's when because he said I assessed the squad, and he said that's the first thing, and he's always stuck with it because of the profile of the majority of the players. Yes, it hurts maybe 2-3 players, but the majority of the team doesn't suit a back 4 yet. That's basically what he implied. And by the way, Laurenz, I have to
too inconsistent because I agree with you, and he said that, and he initially said in that very interview with Glenn Hoddle, he said, we went for it for the first game because we knew they played it with Kante, so a lot of the players knew the system, and we knew that we had the players that worked in the system. Fair.
By the way, sorry, Lance. Sorry, I have to go, bro, like really badly. Thanks for having me on the stream today.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'll message you later. Right. Sorry, I'll see you later, guys.
Cheers. Yeah, like I say, and then he stuck with it because it worked, but then it doesn't work. So what do you do then? Why stick with it? I don't understand. And I'm not even saying this as, Tuchel is bad or Tuchel does this wrong. It's more like, I just would like to know, because maybe he has an explanation for it that if he told me, I'm like, okay, fair enough. But the problem is Andromeda, is it? Andromeda, yeah, 100%. If in my language it would be 2, but I wasn't sure in English. We had some great performances in the 4-3-3, but against Spurs and nobody else. Okay, fair enough. I disagree, but even if you think that, Jorginho doesn't play every game and we still play a back three. So when Jorginho doesn't play and we play a back three, why is it then? Like, is it then because we protect Kante, or then we protect Cover, or then we protect Ruben, or do we then do it for the defenders? Like, I don't know. I just don't know. To protect Rudy, I'm not sure whether we protect Rudy. I think if anything, we protect Thiago Silva, because Thiago Silva is absolutely amazing. But obviously, first of all, because we rely on him so much, it means we can't play a back four, because that means he would run more, means he would need more rest. But also, like I just said, you need fast centre backs. If you play a back four with a high press, you need the defenders to play a high line. Does he have that pay? I don't know. I mean, I would say he does from what I see, but there's another one where I'm like, maybe not. I just don't know anymore. I'm disappointed. I'm gutted. I'm just annoyed. I'm glad that I don't have to think about games for a week, honestly. Fucking Wolves next week, is it? That's going to be fucking fun. I mean, they lost 3-0 to who yesterday? Leeds? Is it?
No, Leeds lost yesterday. Who was it?
They lost to someone 3-0. Brighton. Imagine losing 3-0 to Brighton. And Brighton missed a pen as well. But watch us play Wolves and draw 0-0 or lose 1-0. Hey, maybe tomorrow we'll get some bowling news or whatever else, and maybe that will make us think of different things again, at least. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to round it out here. Bro, I can't defend Pulisic when the Pulisic isn't even playing, and when he plays, he doesn't do anything. Like every stream, you bring up the stats. Pulisic has so and so many goals and so many starts. I'm like, these numbers aren't bad. But you say those numbers as if they're good, because they're not. Like, what did you say? 10 starts and he has 5 goals? Like, it's not awful. I'm not saying that. And it's better than most of the other ones. I'm not disagreeing with that. But it's not like amazing, incredible all the time either. And obviously, the less you play, the certain games you will play, the likelihood of, you know what I mean? Like, it's much more difficult to have a high goal percentage ratio when you play a lot of games than it is when you play little games. Or just few games. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just how it is. But hey, I almost respect you, RD, for being so focused on Pulisic. I mean, it's a bit weird at times too, but I almost kind of respect every stream that's like the Pulisic stats in there. I'm like, all right, go on then. If we get a good DM, then who's going to score? I mean, that's part of it too. Like, yeah, we'll play then a back four and then have a DM. But that still means we have strikers that either can't move, like Lukaku. Havertz isn't regularly clinical enough. Werner, who's awful. Pulisic, who's inconsistent. Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's injury prone and inconsistent and can't score to save his life anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just my days. Yeah, we're going to leave it here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're still here, I appreciate you very much. Subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button for me. Yeah, how many likes do we have? Definitely not enough. To be fair, 99. So I need a couple more. Go down below, smash the like button on your way out. I'd appreciate it if you would. But yeah, big shout out to Pice. Check out his website, ChelseaF365.com. Link is down in the description, as well as Clutch's Twitter. Please check that out as well. Clutch, thank you for coming as always, man. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, okay, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. Upwards and onwards, I guess. And we'll see you next time.